Bhairava Kalike Namostute. Om Namo Bhairava. Jai Ma Kali, Jai Ma Kali. So good morning. We are back on yet another video. The subject that I specifically wanted to address is in the marg of bhakti, in which you find major collapse in ritualistic things that you would do in the upasana or sadhana of a deity. And when all this starts collapsing, is it merely enough that you are in love with this deity? Is that merely enough for you to get the blessings of the deity? What is that see, every one of us is in one way or the other very madly in love with our deity. That is why you would even want to watch a channel like mine, which is not in any way promoted, which is not in any way famous. Neither does it have anybody famous in it. How did you even come here? If there are 10 million viewers of these specific subjects, only 3 or 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 of you are going through these videos of mine. So something is pulling you to this side. So I feel that there is a specific subject that I want to address today on the Bhakti Marga itself. And for that, I will have to go into the story of a Krishna Bhakta in my own family. So I'm going to talk about my grandmother. So she passed away when I was in 7th standard, so that would be around 12 years old. She passed away. For a Krishna Bhakta, I am unable to pick up any bigger names, famous personalities. Yes, we always tend to fall back on them. But let me pick my own grandmother's example. So even at the peak of her marriage, when she was very young itself, her husband, who was incidentally named Krishna, he left her. And left in the sense, on those days, it would not be like a divorce and all that we see today. So he left her and went back to his own mother's house and never came back to him. So this is wherein she gave more importance to Krishna itself. There was a small temple, just like what I have set up in one of the corridors of her house. That house is still there. We still have that house. We still maintain that house well. However, nobody lives there except maybe Krishna. That corridor is still there, and that Krishna Vigraham is still there. She was madly in love with Krishna. She was so much in love with Krishna that she would envision Krishna above everything. So for Bhakti movement, if I was to give an example, it is her. She would not give as much importance to her own husband, who was named Krishna, as much as she would give to that idol of Krishna. She would be full time in Nama Japa, full time in mad love with Krishna. She named her son Radha Krishna, first son, second son Unni Krishna, which is a baby Krishna, Laddu Gopal. So that is how she was always madly in love with Krishna. So all this led her to lose out and become isolated little by little. So there is a saying. So here Krishna, we have to accept and understand that Krishna is none other than Kali. It is not Krishna is Kali. It is Kali who is Krishna. So and that is why the Ashtami moon, as I have told in multiple videos together, the bright half, that is Krishna, with all his alangaram, leela, songs, music, dance, highest levels of grandeur. It is Krishna Bhaktas who will be exceptional in any business endeavors. You see people with whom money is just flowing and they are living grand. They'll most likely be Krishna Bhaktas. It is those souls who are majorly achieving almost everything, and then finally they will move towards the dark side, where all the alangaran disappears, and there you move towards Kali, where the moon is cut by the khadga and there is no longer any kind of maya. It's fully dark. So if you see Kali itself, why is Kali represented? Why is she represented as Amavasa? It's because even the moon will not be around to depict any kind of maya on you. You will only see that black mass, which is Kali. Even the moon will not be there. You will only see darkness. So this is why Amavas is the most potent day for Kali worship, because even the moon will not shine. It is the ultimate message that she sends you. So for Krishna Paksha Ashtami, that cut, the dark part of the moon that you cannot visualize, white part that you still see, and that is Krishna, the black part where nothing is there. So for my grandmother, today I realize that she was an exceptional Bhakta of Krishna, to such an extent that she was moving from the white part to the dark part in that specific lifespan. To her husband, she was not as much madly in love as much as she was with Krishna. So full time, her day was spent in the Leela of Krishna. She worked as a teacher. She retired as a headmistress of her local school, a government school. And then once retired, nothing but Krishna. Full time Krishna Bhakti only. So the Krishna under the tree concept that I have spoken about, more major of my things that I have spoken about in this channel, you will find that she perfectly embodies that. I'll tell you how. First, when Krishna sits under the tree and he realizes that Dwaraka is burning, Dwaraka is drowning in the Mahapralaya, the ever powerful Krishna sits there and continues spreading his knowledge through the flute. He awaits the karma of his previous birth to come and strike him as an arrow which will lead to his death. The ever powerful Krishna, in spite of being able to stop and help Dwaraka, imagine for a second, don't you think that everybody in Dwaraka would have thought that the Krishna who brought us and stabilized us in this specific geographical location, where is he now? Why isn't he coming us to rescue? Where is he? Every single one was a blessed soul. That is why everybody was in nothing other than, see, today we see Krishna in an idol itself and we are so impressed, so madly in love with him. Then imagine people who were physically living with, talking to, roaming around him. Aren't they all 100% eligible for moksha? Is that not going to be a death that is going to lead to moksha? Do you think they will have more lifespans? Very, very, very unlikely that somebody who had such close life with Krishna, physical closeness with Krishna, will in any way be having more lifespans. Maybe one or two for small karmas that they may have incurred. Maybe the life of an animal, which will be 10 years, 11 years, like this, they will finish off that specific karma and they will go off to Krishna. So don't you think as they sank, they were waiting for Krishna. We are now not thinking of Krishna's mindset, but we are thinking of the mindset of the sinking Dwarakal people. They would have called upon Krishna with all their devotion, bhakti, the leader, the king that they saw. Where is he now? You led us through so much of suffering. Where are you now? As we are sinking right now, you are not to be seen. That is the state of the Smashana. In the final state where you are now leaving your body behind and you will now move towards the deity itself. At that point, you should still believe in the deity. When everything is sinking, you should still believe in deity. They are guaranteed moksha, unless there is some small karma that they themselves have incurred and they need to get rid of in more births. Otherwise, is it not guaranteed that these people who were full time with Krishna are going towards him? If anybody at that moment had thought that I am going to Krishna, he has already gone and I am also going and I am sinking now. In this flood, they are 100% going towards Krishna. So this specific thing was even embodied by my own grandmother. As her husband left her to go live separately in his own mother's house, she never went in search for him. She only sat there and prayed to Krishna. She never cried out or cribbed about this to any of her sons. Both her son and she had a daughter also. She never cried to them and said that, come on, why have you done this to me? Why you people are my curse? I have to now bear you. Nothing. She never showed any kind of a moment of pain. Krishna, Krishna. Nothing but Krishna. If I am suffering, it is because of Krishna. This specific devotee, which is my grandmother, had already sat under the tree. She was already under the tree and awaiting each of her karma to get hit. Every time she visualized another human being near her as a support or a physical being, or in any way a distraction from a Krishna bhakti, that person also will get uprooted. So after her husband had left her, which is my grandfather, she sat there, spent her entire life alone, went through her karma, brought up these three children, took care of them till the end, finally got my father married, second brother also got married, and then I was born. I have a sister. When I was born, she started visualizing again Krishna in the Laddu Gopala form. Then she was like, left her idol away, and she was all full time taking care of me. She left the house and lived with my father in a different geographical location to take care of me 24/7. So she fattened me up, would full time would feed me to such an extent that I was probably one of the fattest babies at those clinics in which my mom visited. The doctors were amazed because she would visualize Krishna in me, and she would always feed me, overfeed me, full time taking care of me. Ultimately, some events led my father to separate me from her, and at around 1.5 years of age, again my father got transferred and we moved out of that place, because of which my grandmother after that could not see me at all. Not a single visit. She went back to Krishna. She wanted to visualize Krishna in person. She visualized her in me, the baby, Laddu Gopal. So from all grandmothers, their grandsons or daughters, they visualize as Krishna. For her, who was an intense bhakta of Krishna when nothing else was there, for her it was Krishna. 1.5 years of complete love with Krishna. She enjoyed those 1.5 years. After that, she never met me. Okay. Finally, my meeting with her was such that when I was 12 years old, I went to her. Of course, I've never seen her after that. So I'm looking at her and she was looking at me. By now, her mind had almost completely gone. And by now, the only thing in her mind was Krishna. Get up, take a bath, sit in front of Krishna, lie down somewhere, think of Krishna, go to sleep, get up. That sort of, as she was around in her late 80s, that is how she was living now. So at 12 years, I was taken in front of her. She looked at me, instantly said, has he eaten his food? She has no memory. She kept on repeating this non-stop. Did this boy eat? Did this boy eat? Did this boy eat? So she's still able to associate. Alzheimer's had completely destroyed her brain. But she looked at me and she was still able to visualize that 1.5 years that she spent with me and visualized Krishna in the baby. So this is how it is. That is my grandmother moving from the highest state of Krishna Bhakti, slowly losing everything and moving to the dark side of the moon. Dark side of the moon visualizes an empty vacuum. This vacuum will have to be incurred for you to progress in Devi Sadhana. To progress in the sadhana of Mahakali, at your highest state where you have everything, she had sons, she had a great house and everything. She visualized Krishna in her husband left, she visualized Krishna in the idol after that. Then she visualized Krishna in her grandson also left. Everything left, ultimately went back to Krishna. Finally at the end of Bhakti, like Dwaraka sinking, everything left her. This vacuum that she feels, without creating this vacuum within you, you will never be able to bring Bhakti inside you. Till you think that there is something that is filling your vacuum up, be it a specific purpose, be it specific goals, your husband, your wife, your kids, you need to have those empty garbhagrihas inside, and the deity will then fill every single garbhagriha. So the Bhakti Marga will be classified with extreme loneliness. This is going to be there. You will only find Devi entering into you. Devi, Kali is Krishna. Understand this. You go through her 1008 names, multiple references. The mother of Krishna, one of her names. Sister of Krishna, one of her names. Her body, one of her names. So Krishna is Kali, Kali is Krishna. As Krishna's bhakti peaks, the alangaram, everything begins to disappear. You see a black mass, a blackness, that black volume, that black vacuum that needs to fill within you. Every physical being will leave you. In your own life, you will find you are sitting under the tree. When you sit under the tree, the husband that left my grandmother, the son who never allowed her grandson to be seen again till she was about to die, 12 years. For 12 years she was not able to see me, but she remembered the moment she saw me, whom she has not even seen in photos, that this is that boy, and feed him. Again, feed him. So her love for Krishna was such that she was able to recognize me after 12 years. Even though her memory was fully gone, she does not remember anything else. That much. So the highest state of Krishna Bhakti has to be attained before you can move to the Digambara state, the black vacuum, that is Kali. Only when you create vacuum and you've completely lost the need for anything and everything around you, that is when Devi enters into your life. She will give you everything, but you will be non-present in those relationships while you are present. This state has to be achieved. So my grandmother's life was probably the inspiration for me to talk about the empty Garbhagrihas. The husband named Krishna who left, she went back to Krishna. The grandson she visualized Krishna in left. The son, after the husband left, my father who was the eldest took care of the house till he left the house at 30. When he got a government job around 28, 27, he left the house. After that, the meeting was only during my birth, and that 1.5 years that she was feeding and taking care of me, and then I also left. So any time she had a small desire to visualize a human being in a specific form, she visualized Krishna in that human being, and that human being also little better left. Ultimately, only left with her and the Krishna within her, the vacuum. If my grandmother has had another birth, I am very sure that she would probably be one of the greatest bhaktas of Devi. Having finally come over the ultimate form of Krishna, the Alangaram, the Leela, the dance, the music, you'll finally come to the black side of the moon, which is a vacuum. The black side of moon, actually there is no moon that side. It is that black mass, that black vacuum which will suck everything in. The little bit of that needs to grow inside you. The more it grows, Devi enters into you. That is how it is. So the empty Garbhagrihas, fill that with the God itself. When those physical beings leave you, understand that you need to, that is a design for you to place the deity there. That is my grandmother's lesson. She was never with me, but she gave the lesson to me. In very simple terms, when you find anybody leaving you, place Krishna there. Place your deity there. Hate for Krishna is a direct disqualification in the path. It will lead to unnecessary wastage of lifespan itself. Understand Krishna, understand his messages. Keep him where in the highest state of bhakti before you bring Kali inside. That full moon, the khadga cuts and you see black vacuum, everything goes off, but you will be at an eternal state of peace, like Krishna playing the flute as everything is disappearing, all his family members, everything is breaking down, all the people that he brought and placed in that specific location are sinking, but he plays his flute, awaiting his own karma and awaiting his own moksha. So this message, it is from the life of my own grandmother, one of the greatest bhaktas of Krishna, who sat and sang his leelas as everybody left her. So she was under the tree, awaiting karma to poke. She visualized Krishna in any human being after some time, having great ecstasy and fun, great happiness that she derived from that moment of spending time with me, or when her husband used to be around. But you see, Krishna took everything from her. Little by little, she entered the state of Dwaraka. Finally, under the tree, she sat alone as karma hit her one by one. And done. She left. So this is the true bhakti marga. You need to build that black volume within you. That black mass, that black vacuum which will suck Devi into you, which will suck that other black mass, the actual black mass that surrounds our earth, which is the universe, or that Kali that we say. It needs to come into you, then you need to have that black volume, that black vacuum inside you. Only then it will fill with Devi. If you have it with other human beings, and if you still continue to call on them, you will find them disappearing. But your bhakti for the deity should take over and protect you from the sorrow. Sorrow will not be there because you realize why they are leaving. Trust the process. This is the process. Finally, you are going to your deity, and there will be a lot of peace and happiness. In this Bhakti Marga itself, you will find that there will be moments where the deity plays with you. When I was 1.5 years, what do you think my grandmother visualized? Every moment she was with Krishna. She left that idol alone and came and lived with my father. And that 1.5 years, where she took care of me, she didn't feed the idol, she was feeding me. So for her, I was Krishna. Every grandmother if you have an intense grandmother who's an intense bhakta of Krishna, you will find this. When they see the grandchild, there is likelihood that their upasana falls. There is a chance. I don't know how many of you are blessed with extremely, exceptional levels of bhakti in their grandmothers, but if you have, then observe. When the grandchild comes, and if that is a Krishna bhakta, that is a grandmother, it will fall. They will visualize Krishna in that. And if that grandmother is meant for moksha, that grandson will be taken away. Because again, you have to go back to Krishna. Little bit of Leela of Krishna is there in everybody's life. Many of us are missing it. It took me time to realize that Leela too. So that is how you bring Devi into you. Devi into you means you will bring black vacuum within you, and that will suck off everything, and only Devi will enter within you. We have already addressed the subject of desires. When it comes to desires, you will find probably one of the greatest examples of exceptional desires is MahaVishnu itself. MahaVishnu has taken, it's like a sankalpa that he has taken, that he will protect dharma, and whenever it falls, he will come. In the incident wherein Daksha's yajna is being destroyed, and when Veerabhadra starts facing off against MahaVishnu, MahaVishnu customarily fights with Veerabhadra, who is none other than an Amsha of Shiva. He is a Mahagana. He is the head of the Ganas. Customarily, since he had promised Daksha to protect the yajna from any external threats, he customarily fights off them. Once he has ticked off that, because MahaVishnu is like, his desire itself, if there is a desire that is still left in MahaVishnu, it is the desire to protect dharma. And till that desire is within him, he will also keep coming back to earth. It is not just that human beings with unfulfilled desires have to come back to earth. Even MahaVishnu, it is a desire to uphold dharma, he keeps coming back. So just imagine, when MahaVishnu itself, there is a desire that he still holds, that is a desire to protect, the desire to have dharma in place. Till that desire he doesn't overcome, he will also keep coming back in different forms. Every avatara is coming back to earth because that desire is still within MahaVishnu, to protect the dharma. As long as it is there, he will also continue to come. So in that specific incident where MahaVishnu faces off against Veerabhadra, there is specific texts that talk about Veerabhadra hearing the voice of Shakti within him, and he also takes, after, even though he swallows the Sudarshan Chakra, he also takes a step back in that fight, because he also realizes that it is Vishnu Bhagavan's addiction or that desire to uphold dharma, because he has given a word, he will fight. But Veerabhadra also hears that Vishnu, that is me. From Master Shakti, he hears the following words, that the one you are fighting is also me. MahaVishnu also Shakti. And then both of them, in a staged manner, they orchestrate their fight and they move back. Continue with the dharma path, where MahaVishnu, he leaves the place saying that I have upheld my dharma to protect your yajna. However, now I have to take a step back because it is Mahadeva's Leela. And then continues the fight. He destroys yajna. He destroys Daksha Prajapati's head and offers it to Mahakali. And then the body of Mata Sati becomes the Shava Sadhana of Mahadeva, and he then dances with it. Then again, MahaVishnu is back to protect. cuts off the body into the various pieces that will become Shakti Pidas later. So that the Shakti Sadhana is established on Mrityu-loka. So that when people visit those Shakti Pidhas, you get the Shakti Amsa within you. If you have the right vacuum within you, you will be able to fill that Shakti within you. If there is no vacuum, if you are still, when you go to Shakti Pida, you talk about materialistic things, the chances of attaining that, you're talking about small career related stuff, wealth and all that, you may or may not attain it, but the actual purpose of a Shakti Pida is to attain Devi. Understand this. Walking up to a Shakti Pida and thinking that it is for the purpose of attaining your wellness so that you have a good materialistic life may or may not happen. Even if it happens, you have lost the purpose. The purpose of every Shakti Pida is to take Devi within you. Shakti Pidhas are to take the Amsha of Devi within you, provided you have already created the vacuum. Provided you already understood what Krishna is, provided you understand what he was doing, what he was telling you, how to live life. The day you and your karma are on par, or you have already beaten your karma, that day you have the vacuum within you. The day you sit under the tree as if you are Krishna, as everything burns around you, realizing that only to that extent which you are meant to do, you will be able to do. The day Krishna, even MahaVishnu for that matter, when he left the yajna in spite of promising to protect it, he protected it, but then he left. Then he left. In a very staged manner, he sends the Sudarshan Chakra at Veerabhadra, who swallows it, and then he leaves. Because he is well aware, though he promised to protect the yajna, he is well aware that not calling Mahadeva is adharma. To such a yajna, not call the Adi Yogi is adharma. So, in a very staged manner, he protects it, but he leaves. And then we have the Shakti Pidhas. He realizes the purpose of it, he is already aware of the purpose of it. He cuts the body of Mata Sati and places the Shakti Pida. So when you visit the Shakti Pida, be it Kamakya, Tarapit or Kalihad, wherever it is, you visit it, please understand that what you should be praying for is to become one with the Devi and to give the eligibility or the entry to Shakti part. To get into the path of Shakti. If you are going to go there and pray about majorly materialistic wealth, the chances of that may or may not happen. But karmically, it is not good for you to pray for materialistic things in a Shakti Pida. Shakti Pida, you go and take in the Shakti within you. Because a lot of it is there. It is placed for a reason. It is the Shava Sadhana of Shiva itself with Mata Sati. Shava Sadhana, most powerful. It is an entry path for you to get Shakti within you. You need to have the black vacuum for that within you. So that the Devi comes within you. You should be in the path of sadhana so that you can pull in and that vacuum is filled with Devi. If there is vacuum within you, only then Devi will come to you. Till there is no vacuum, there will be no Devi. You can pray to her, you can do her upasana, you can go to her temples, but the change should be within you. The yantra that you are should comes to a state where it should be vacuum, and vacuum is created within you only when you are above your karma. How to be above your karma? All the lessons have already been given by Shri Krishna. And once you are above your karma, you will be able to detach from the entire Dwaraka that is sinking, like my grandmother detached. My grandmother's husband left her, she never bothered. She continued in her sadhana, sat in her life. Whoever is there and within her life, she continued to take care of them. Then she had a grandson, visualized Krishna in that. Even that pleasure was taken away from her. She did not fight with my father, bring him back to me. No, she realized why she has left, because she realizes that karma is hitting her, and she went and sat down. This black vacuum within you has to grow. As you grow higher, you will find that when your sadhana becomes more and more stronger, you will find heightened senses of fear. When there are compartments within you that are opening up to take in the energy that is now floating freely about, the Preta Lokas and the Bhuta Loka and all, when they start communicating with you, within you there will be weird feelings that you will not be able to make sense of, especially since many of you are without gurus. Understand that sense of fear, the sense of doubt, the sense of a weird sense of unsettlement. These are all good signs. Continue. When trouble comes, increase your sadhana. Wherever you promised to do 2 malas, without making any new promise, do 10 malas. On those days when you find that there is instability in your core and something is not feeling right, please understand that there is changes happening within you. There is a vacuum opening up within you. This is why Bhairava comes. Bhairava, the one who rids of fear, he who has attained to even a little bit of grace of Bhairava will be able to pass through these states where you are bringing in Devi. That is the final goal. Bhairava Sadhana ends with bringing the Devi. The moment the Devi comes, Bhairava Sadhana as a pedestal is done its purpose within you. Ultimate state of enlightenment. So, when you go to any Shakti Pida, go there without materialistic gains as your main goal. Go there for Devi. Because Shakti Pidas were not simply established for material gain. Shakti Pidas were established for Dharma, for Devi. An Amsha of Devi is within. That Amsha should enter you. For that, you need to bring changes within you. What are the changes? You should have that vacuum. When Dwaraka sings, you should have the ability to understand that even Shri Krishna did not get up and go save Dwaraka. He sat there because he realized everything happens for a reason. This ability is your first sign that you have built the vacuum within you. Until that happens, continue with your sadhana. Whenever you find fluttering within, realize why you are fluttering. It is because your jiva is now interacting with things that are not having a physical presence. That is why you feel unsettled and a little bit of fear seems to seep into you. You are not able to understand why am I afraid? I am afraid of something but I do not know what it is. Am I going right? Am I doing some mistake? But when you sit down for sadhana, you are feeling fine. Then that is a good sign. You don't have to worry. Where you do 2 malas to 10. On those days, you will find immediate relief coming to you because it is the entire spiritual world talking to you. That these moments do not lose your focus, strengthen yourself and keep going. These are all, you will also find that there will be moments in your life when you're walking in the path of life, you are supposed to take a specific step towards something. However, there is a small voice within you telling you that I should not do this because this is not right. You need to train your mind in such a way that whenever this voice comes but you're urged to, let's say that you're specifically supposed to take a step which will cause pain to 2-3 people. However, the mind within you tells you not to do it. That specific voice that you can hear, that is your hint that taking that step will lead to unnecessary karma. 10-15 times listen to this volume, this voice and turn around. This is a very easy way for you to navigate karma. Somebody insults you, immediately want to give back, but there is a thing that tells you, I don't want that fight. I don't want to get into this. Listen to that. This will take 10-15 attempts, but once you start doing 10-15 times, when you listen to this voice and be non-reactive to something, that is when you realize that actually your karma is either on par with you or you have already beaten most of your karma and you're on the path to moksha. If you're getting that kind of intuition strongly within you that you should not react to a specific thing that is happening around you, listen to it. By 10 or 15th attempt, you'll be so well trained and well tuned that you will be able, this voice will become louder than the urge to react. At this moment, you have already beaten your karma and you'll turn around. Post that, the game is to simply not incur karma and live happily under the tree. You're playing the flute as the arrows keep hitting your leg. It is not paining. The deity takes care of you. The vacuum is growing bigger and bigger. The Devi is coming bigger and bigger into you. You are moved to the black part of the moon. You are now that black vacuum. Devi is entering you. After that, every single visit to every single Shakti Pida or you sitting in your house and itself doing the sadhana of Devi, you are a walking, breathing Shakti Pida. Understand that. That is the highest state. Beyond that, if you have any births, that will be extraordinary birth for small karma. If you are a human birth, if it is going to be a human birth, it will be an extraordinary birth and there will be dharma everywhere around you. You will be setting dharma. You will be changing lives of people. This sort of things will happen to you. Remember, desire, even MahaVishnu, when he comes in an avatar roopam, it is his desire to hold dharma. That desire makes him also to come back to earth again and again and again. Every time there is a dharma, he comes back as an avatar. Why? Because even he, if there is desire, be it for dharma or adharma or any kind of desire, even the deities have to come back. Even the God has to come back. So you also live your life in such a way that you're little by little overcoming every amsha of desire that is within you. Overcome everything. However, please listen to that small voice, that feeling, or you can say that's a feeling. Before you know that there is some kind of an outburst coming, but there's a feeling that you should probably not do it. Move away. It is okay to react to very painful situations that will be thrown on your head. React. Don't hold on to it. However, before reacting, if there is a voice that is telling you, simply let it go. Don't even talk. Don't even talk. That means you have already crossed the path of being a child. You're no longer even a child. You have come above your karma now. Even you are actually able to groom the ability to be non-reactive. If you are feeling that, then please start listening to that feeling. The more you listen to that feeling, the more you will find that it starts talking to you. That is your deity talking to you. That is the gurus that are everywhere without a body, without a physical presence that are talking to you. That moment, if you react and make it worse, there will be another karmic circle that is running around you. If you are having the ability to not react, if that voice, the more you listen to it, the more answers you will get. It's a feeling, it's a small feeling that, okay, why don't I just be non-reactive? You will find that the entire incident does not materialize anymore and it is gone. However, you will find that the person who was trying to hurt you will get hit. It is okay to react if you react. Be non-reactive and it's okay to react, and if you react, do not hold on to grudge. Throw it out. But before you react, there is 100%, if you're in the sadhana and if you're doing it right, you will find the feeling that I do not want to react. That feeling, you need to grow it. That is the deity talking to you. They don't come and write lessons to you. They don't come and write letters to you. It happens. They do send you physical signs, but they're also talking to you all the time. Specifically, when you're about to do something, that feeling that I should not do this, that comes to only those people who are more or less coming very close to conquering their own karmic debts. If you get that, listen to that. Do it 10-15 times. When you start listening to that, that becomes your second nature. And you're living, breathing full time, getting advices from beings that are not having a physical presence. Listen to that. That is where you beat karma. Fresh karma. Be non-reactive, keep going. If you react, don't hold on to the grudges. When the biggest of pains come, when people are leaving you left and right, think of the example of what I've told you, my grandmother. Fully in bhakti. They came, they left, she went back. When she left Krishna and she came and visualized me as Laddu Gopal, and she was happily feeding me the 0 to 1.5 year old baby. She was taking care 24/7. She thought Krishna is with me. Then finally my father got transferred and I also left. That's it. Krishna left. So I'm going back to my Krishna, which is her idol. The idol is still there in that house all by itself. A small temple. Nobody lives there now. Empty house. Only Krishna and her bhakti still around. So rush towards sitting under the tree. Dwaraka will sink. Even Krishna did not get up and run towards Dwaraka. Let Dwaraka sink. There is great lesson in that. Let your karma hit you. When pain hits you, let Dwaraka sink. Let pain hit you. Be fully in the love of your deity. They will take care of you. Build the vacuum. The more and more you bring Krishna within you, the more and more you realize that you have to sit under that tree as Dwaraka sinks. The more and more you're building the vacuum. You're heading towards the dark side of the Ashtami moon. The dark side of moon is nothing but a vacuum. The full Amavasya is Kali. Even moon will not show its Maya on that night. It's fully Kali. That is why Amavasya is for Kali. You have to build the black vacuum within you to take even a drop of Shakti within you. Shakti will not even allow moon to shine and show any kind of Maya, bright lights, nothing. If it is Shakti, if it is Kali, it will be dark. A state of exceptional, many people have written mails to me talking about addictions to drugs, to cannabis, to various kinds of addictions that they face. Let me tell you, nothing, nothing can give you the addiction and the eternal state of high once you put that black volume, that black mass within you. That will be able to, it is going to destroy the heat of the sun one day. It can destroy any of your pains. It can destroy and consume any kind of physical things that this world throws at you. You have to breed, make it bigger and bigger. How do you do it? Listen to that feeling that tells you to be non-reactive. Go sit under that tree where you are burning your karma as Dwaraka burns. Hold your sadhana alone. That is the only way to overcome karma and let Devi enter you. Till Devi doesn't enter you, you will not be on the path to moksha. This is the final step. It is through Shakti that you will go towards the final state of moksha. Kala Bhairava will give you the entire pedestal on which you can seat Devi. It is not like the moment you seek Devi, you are dead. You might have more lives. But moksha is guaranteed. Because she is now controlling your life. The black mass within you is her. Bring it. I believe I wanted to talk about her, and especially since today was my birthday, and look at her Leela. So I started writing her 1008 names on the Facebook page that I maintain her, in her glory, to write about her. 4.5 months back I started writing. So today is the 132nd name, which is Ma Chinnamasta, and I am specifically in the sadhana of Ma Chinnamasta, though we don't talk about that openly. But I believe anybody who comes to this channel, which is a non-promoted small channel in a corner, for some reason you have come here. It is the deity's grace, because I have never promoted this channel. There is no famous person doing this. There is no 10 million followers. I only talk about her. So if you're hearing it through this channel, I am okay to even talk openly about my sadhana also. So I am in the sadhana of Ma Chinnamasta for quite some time. She called me to a temple and all that. I have written about that. If I had started one day before or later writing her 1008 names on that page, then today I would not see that name. On my birthday morning, after a long time it's been raining, I take, okay, let's go through today's name. I pick up the name and it's Ma Chinnamasta on my birthday. A little bit of happiness that you feel, that is how they communicate. A small affirmation to continue in her path. Go into the path of Pretaloka. Go into the path of Vajra Bhairava, Krodha Bhairava. The Bhutanathan. He is the Bhutanath. Krodha Bhairava is the Bhutanath. Many people do not know this. He is the master of enlightenment. He is the one who empowers every deity. The Shakti is being placed into the deity by Krodha Bhairava. If you are going higher and higher in the path of Krodha Bhairava, Siddhis are guaranteed. However, before you enter into the path of Krodha Bhairava itself, you should have the Vaccum and Devi should already be entering into you. It is not a multi-deity path that I am asking you all to take. Please understand that Vattuka Bhairava till the Kala Bhairava is the same deity. You are just going through different transformations within you. And Ma Kali sadhana alone is sufficient. However, sometimes the deity itself will change your path towards extreme forms of themselves. Please understand that Ma Chinnamasta is considered as the most difficult form of Kali. That sadhana is considered the most difficult because the Pretaloka starts interacting with you 24/7. It's a guarantee. It is not to be done without a guru. You will find collapse, you will find hits coming to you left and right, but she is so powerful that once she has, so that is why it's not time yet to talk about how to go into that path. But for me, such small affirmations will always come to you also. Why should that name be coming today when I am in her sadhana and it's a specific day for me? Small leelas of the deity is still continuing. Anyway, I think I've rambled enough for today. Bhairava Kalike Namostute.